Congratulations for season 2 with the Punisher here. I feel like I should get you like a Uber Eats gift card and a Call of Duty video game. Why does the Punisher can't live a quiet life?
Oh man, is that what a quiet life would do? Huh? An Uber Eats card and Call of Duty.
Sounds awesome.
Well,
Sounds like
right.
really great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the idea with him. I think that's kind of precisely what we're trying to explore with this season. I think when you find Frank in the beginning, he's on the road, and it's the first time you'll see him sort of lay back and drink a beer and listen to some music, and he's trying to stay out of the way. And I think the question that the season sort of puts out there is, how can you change your nature, and what do you do when the mission's over? And I think it's an interesting sort of storyline. But I think if you take a step further, I think there's been a real study and a real look into PTSD and into folks who really can operate okay just as long as the bullets are flying, just as long as they're on mission, just as long as the purpose is very clear. But when things get really out of whack and tough for a lot of folks, it's when the quiet comes, and then you got to deal with what's going on in your head. And I think that's something that's explored this year.
Georgia, you're playing a new character, Amy. Could you talk a little bit more about her? And for both of you, what's going to be the relationship like for this season 2?
Yeah, I mean, as a lot of the fans know, she's based loosely on the character from the comics. But we made sure to definitely put our own twist on her. She's not exactly like the comic book character at all, and I think that was a lot of the fun for me, was getting to, have this character that's already been established, but also, add my own little quirks and personality traits and backstories to her. And it was just really crazy throughout the season, just still getting to know her, and there were still things that I was trying to figure out about her. And but yeah, building her was amazing, and I think you can take the next half if you want. Our relationship in the show.
Oh, our relationship?
Yeah.
Again, I think it's what I was talking about sort of in the first answer. I mean, I think that his nature, I think these two people, they collide with each other, they come together, and he sees something that's going on, and it's really, that question of what do you do in a second's notice? How do you respond to something? He responds a certain way. He enters down this road with her. I don't want to give too much away, but once he does, it draws him right back into this world of violence and darkness. And I think what's interesting to me, and what the challenge was to me, is that, at first he's involved with her, but it's not personal. And everything with Frank Castle to that point had been very, very personal. All the violence, everything he had done had been deeply, deeply personal, and there had been a very clear mission. But now all of a sudden he's engaged, and it becomes personal. It becomes personal because of the bond that they form. And then he's got to struggle with dealing that, and that he's now taken on somebody when he's sworn off all kind of human interaction. And so I think that's where you get the drama.
And then real fast, I mean, this show is so dark, so violent, so violent. Where does your mind go when you're playing these characters on a show like this?
I mean, I think it gives, for me, it was my first time doing anything remotely like this, with as much violence and fighting and stunts, the most danger scenes where the danger is so heightened, and but it gave me definitely like an adrenaline rush every time we were shooting, and it's scary to do, but I think that's what makes it so fun, and that's what got me amped every time, because I was like, I've never done anything like this before, and you really put yourself in those vulnerable places, and the fear is, I think it's emanated through the scene.
The violence, I mean, look, for me, I guess it's twofold. I think one part of it is that, and I've said before, I'm a father and I'm a husband, and I think Frank, beyond anything else, you know, he's reeling from the loss of his family, and you know, really understanding what it's like to have a love that goes way greater than yourself is something that I can completely empathize with if anybody were to take my family from me. So I think it kind of starts there, and then I think you also just need to look at the how much his character has resonated with the military community. Frank Castle's a soldier, and you know, that's something I take enormously seriously. And when we get into those kinds of scenes, I try to keep all that stuff in mind, and I try to remember that there's people that have worn that Punisher skull in their body armor, and they've fought, and people have died for our country with that on them, and I take it really seriously. So I go really hard, and so you got to go to dark places, and that's where you go.
Well, hey, thank you very much.
thank you,
I
buddy.
appreciate
Thank you.